Recording in progress.
All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. It is 2:05 p.m. My name is Ty Mentor, Chair of the Board. To my right is Vice Chair Commissioner Wayne Fournier, Commissioner Carolina Mejia. To my left is Commissioner Rachel Grant and Commissioner Emily Klaus. Our County Manager is Leonard Hernandez, and Assistant County Managers Josh Cummings and Jennifer Walker. Clerk of the Board Amy Davis to the far left. We are live streaming to the Thurston County YouTube channel, and receiving written comment up to 2 hours in advance of the meeting is distributed to the board. And of course, we will be taking actions at this meeting. So we will begin with a pledge of allegiance to be led by Commissioner here.
Please stand and join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Next up, Vice Chair, land acknowledgement.
We'd also like to start today with a land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge and thank the Indigenous Salish peoples whose elders and ancestors have lived on and stewarded the lands and waterways of this county with great care, and who continue as sovereign nations today, specifically the Squaxin, Nisqually, and Chehalis people. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and remember history as a stepping stone towards healing. We commit to working together to honor our past and build our future with truth.
Next, we have a approval of agenda, and there's a couple of proposed motions. Let's take them one at a time. Let's start with the first one. I believe that was Commissioner Fournier.
Sir, I move to remove consent item 6 from the consent calendar and move it to department item 9-1.
Motion and second to remove, amend the agenda to move the department item, consent item to a consent, from a consent to department item 9-1. Any discussion on that motion? Call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
I think that
Is
was
there
the
an
only
additional?
change, right?
Thank you.
Commissioner Mejia?
Yeah, Chair, thank you. So I do have a motion, and it is to remove item 7-1 from the agenda today, which is the ordinance for permit review process annual code update, the land use appeals.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded by Commissioner Klaus. Discussion on the motion?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So while the board did delay this 6 months, and I know when the chair brought this matter up, and we had discussion on it, we kind of gave that extension to kind of have more cases come through and have that experience for the new commissioners. And at this time, I guess I'm asking to extend that. When the board decided to add this to the agenda, it was with a 5-0 vote. And then this morning we learned that, there were other thoughts on that process. And so, I guess, well, it's frustrating that, we come in and second review and then we're trying to have these discussions last minute. It just doesn't give the ability to really get into all the details on it. And so at this time, I'll just requesting to remove it from the agenda today.
Commissioner Fournier?
Yeah, for me, I'm cool with removing it. I think we all received public comment from one of our constituents. There was one point made that I want to stick to, and it's that when we talked about this last year, we said that we wanted every commissioner to have had an opportunity to go through one of these processes, and it was pointed out that our newest commissioner has not gone through that process yet, and so I think it would only be fair to stick to that sentiment, and then maybe review this after all commissioners have had an opportunity to go through the quasi-judicial process. So I'd support the amendment.
Other discussion, Commissioner Klaus?
Yeah, I want to say thank you, Commissioner Mejia. This is a surprise to me, and I'm very happy to hear that you're willing to move this from the agenda to allow for us to go through an appeal process. And we do have one this week, so we can bring this topic up again soon. I did spend my whole lunch getting my comments ready, so now I don't have to go through the whole spiel, but I will say, I think this is a well-deserved opportunity for the community to really see that we care and we are hearing their comments, we're hearing them out. And I know this matter has been delayed already, but I think following that same sentiment that we set before about wanting to go through a process so that all commissioners can kind of understand the value in this process is a great idea. And these decisions are complex, but this was a big one, and so I was nervous to move it forward, and I wasn't sure how the vote would pan out today. So I'm grateful that we're having the opportunity to move it, and I will still be voting no when it comes back up. So I hope we're ready for that conversation, but it's been a lot of thoughtful debate and deliberation. So I just want to thank the board for that, and thank you, Commissioner Mejia, for your motion.
I will say that I'm in favor of this item. For the many reasons I put on the record, there were 3 votes to approve it at the end of last year, and I suggested a delay because I thought it was a significant change that would be useful to have more than 3, kind of a supermajority, at least 4 commissioners supporting it. I thought there were 4 commissioners. In fact, I thought there were 5 commissioners supporting it as of a week and a half ago. This morning, I learned that 2 commissioners are changing their vote. So I think I'll just abstain from this. I still would like to have 4 commissioners approve this. I still think it's good. It's a good change. It's consistent with what every other jurisdiction in our region does. But given that we're still divided on the topic and there'll be more to come, I'll abstain from this particular vote to remove it from the agenda. Commissioner Klaus?
Thank you, Chair. I just want to respond to one thing you said, because this was a 5-0 vote to move it onto the agenda, but that doesn't mean it was a 5-0 vote in support of the motion itself. I have never been in favor. I've been on the fence, but I've been leaning toward not wanting to remove our ability to be part of the quasi-judicial process. So I was not in favor of moving this forward and passing it today, but I was in favor of putting it on the agenda because it was already in motion, and I didn't feel like I would have the traction to halt it at that point in the process. I was still receiving information and input from constituents, and those conversations have been ongoing. And the more I learn, the more I lean toward, I'm definitely already on the side of not thinking this is a good idea, but our own planning commission voted 10-0 to keep the board in this process. That unanimous recommendation, I believe, deserves more weight than it's been given. And other jurisdictions removing themselves is a trend, not necessarily a concrete argument. We're not obligated to replicate decisions made in different communities for reasons specific to those communities, which is why when it does come back up, I'll be voting no. But I will be voting yes to remove it today.
Okay, well, I'm going to need to respond to several of those points. I've never once voted to put something on an agenda that I thought was bad policy and that I was going to vote against. So I'm sorry if I misinterpreted your positive vote, but that's very surprising to me. I think the 10-0 Planning Commission vote's been given more weight than it was entitled to, because as I've outlined on several previous meetings, no one ever made the case to the Planning Commission as to why this would be a good policy change. And if this goes back before the Policy Commission, Commissioner Mejia has suggested that to me in a conversation, and maybe having it, I'll make a presentation and let them see. We'll see if that 10-0 vote still holds. Mm-hmm. I'm almost certain it will not. So just want to say those 2 things. Commissioner Grant.
Well, being the newest commissioner on the board, I do appreciate this, and thank you, Commissioner Mejia, for being willing to kind of take a pause, because I do want the ability to go through the process, and I'm also very much in favor of what you just suggested about the planning commissioners, because that was one of the things for me is it's hard to not going through it, it's very hard for me to be able to make a decision. And so I think just having some more time for us to talk about it as a board, for me to continue to learn and to understand, would be a good way to go forward. So thank you for that.
Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? I'll be abstaining, so that motion carries.
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Okay, we haven't approved an agenda, so let's go to our presentation. Asian American, Native and Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Yes.
Ellen Massey to present.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Board. Ellen Massey, Management Analyst, and today we have a proclamation for Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islanders Month. We have some speakers first, and then we'll have a presentation out in the lobby. So I'd like to invite up Lynn Crowley from the Asian Pacific Islanders Coalition of South Sound, or APIC.
Thank you. Hi, everyone, and good afternoon to all of you who are here. And I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you for the opportunity to talk with you and accept this proclamation. I do have a little bit cold. I want to first apologize. So if I sound very nasally, that's why. But still, it is so important for us to take this opportunity to thank what has been able to happen for all of the AANHPI, which is Asian American, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders in the state of Washington. We have come a long way, and currently the populations in the state has gone up to about 10%, which is really wonderful to know. The community includes a lot of folks coming from all over the places, from earlier immigrants of the state to more recent immigrants that come from Southeast Asia and all of the Pacific Islands. And I'm really happy to say that we have some great friends that are joining us to help us with the celebration. But we also want to take this opportunity to really say that all of us, because of our very diverse backgrounds, people don't want to see us, as one person. That's very important. We are truly very diverse. And because of that, the culture we are representing are very diverse too. I don't want to, take it lightly to say the Asian Pacific Islanders Coalition of South Puget Sound is a very easy organization to try to pull everybody together. We really wanted to see how we will be able to build bridges between the different groups, as well as with the general community, and help people to know about all the different and beautiful cultures that are represented by all of the groups. And so I want to take this opportunity again to say thank you, but also welcome to all of you. It's an invitation to all of you for participating in our Asian Pacific Islanders Coalition's hosted celebration event this Saturday, which is May 23rd. We are going to have it at the South Puget Sound Community College, Lacey campus on the 6th Avenue there to have this one-day event. But this is only one of those activities we are doing for the whole month. I wanted to let you know, because we have been trying to also showcase a lot of other celebration activity that's presented by all the different groups, right? In and around this area, the South Puget Sound area. Some of you probably already know that the recent rise on anti-Asian hate crimes are still existing, okay? While we are doing all of this celebration, I don't want to forget to say that we are aware of it. We want help people to also be aware of it, and then see how we will be able to kind of break down those cultural barriers and also misunderstanding, so people will be able to really accept us just like one of your own, because we are truly all made up of this community together. So I don't want to take this opportunity to say too much more, except that, if we are truly open to all of you, I'm hoping that you will be also opening your heart to all of us too. By just coming over, say hi, get to know some of the groups that are going to be present at the celebration event, plus more, because there are so many people who we have been wanted to invite to join, but every year we only get to have so much time to do this. So some people already are suggesting to us, maybe you should do a 2-day event. So we will see, down the road, maybe with more of your encouragement and support, we will be able to do that. Especially in the Olympia area, which is the capital, of the state. So thank you again for the invitation, and truly honored to have the opportunity to represent the Asian Pacific Islanders Coalition of South Puget Sound to address all of you. Thank you. And I do have a lot of friends who are here with me too, who I love to kind of acknowledge. I'm so glad to see them from our governor's office, the Commission on Asian American Affairs, as well as so many of you, many faces that I can recognize. And of course, the beautiful performers who are going to be here. You are going to come, right? Okay, so anyway, thank you so much again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lynn. Next, I would like to invite up Mr. Nam Nguyen, who is the Executive Director of the Washington State Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs.
Thank you. And thank you for this body for recognizing AA and HPI History Month. My name is Nam. I am the Executive Director of a small state agency that elevate issue affecting the AA and HPI community to state government, state agency, and the legislature. I am also a Thurston County resident. Well, I was. I moved to Seattle in November. The reason why, well, the food's better up there. I'm joking. My wife's actually got a job in Seattle, and in between her and me, she won. So we ended up moving to Seattle. But I just want to highlight the contribution of AA and HPI people in this particular county, which I used to count myself as. We contributed in every aspect of life. We're only 10% of the population, but we are involved in government. We have former mayor from our community. We have representative currently in Olympia from our community. We have churches. The Islamic Center here was founded by Cambodian refugees. Muslim Cambodian refugees started the Islamic Center here. There's various dotting of Korean churches and Buddhist temple where all are welcome. We also have many businesses here as well. My haircut was done by a barber who's been serving this community for over 20 years. My shoe was repaired by a cobbler who's been in downtown Olympia for over 20 years. And as well as the many restaurants that people enjoy, but it's not as it seems. The Thai restaurant here most of the Thai restaurants here are actually owned by Vietnamese Americans. Most of the teriyaki, which is Japanese dish, are owned by Korean American, and a lot of pho place. So things have changed over the year, and our culture has changed over the year. But we are a part of this community. We contribute to this community and the fabric of this community. And thank you for recognizing this month and welcoming us into the fabric of Thurston County.
Thank you so much. And next, I would like to invite up Rocco, who is part of the Lao Moa. Thank you. The Lao Moa dance group.
Hello, and thank you for this time. Before I start, my name is Rocco Fa'alili, also known as Palepoy Maunga Talia Fa'alili. I am one of the advisors for Lao Mua. Lao Mua was founded probably 2014, so pretty recent. And it was at first like a community thing. And then we opened it up to conjoin 5 or 4 schools from the Thurston County, and which is North Thurston, Timberline, Olympia High School, and River Ridge. So 4 schools conjoined into one group, into Laumua meaning capital. So these 4 groups, we just came back from a competition, and we were the representatives for the Thurston County. Um, so yeah, um,
That's awesome.
and
Yeah.
and we are a Samoan-based dance group, but just because we are a Samoan-based dance group does not mean just Samoan kids in our dance group. So as the advisor of LAMU, I invite all of you guys that are here today to not experience individuals, but unity of cultures and community from North Thurston County. Again, these are the kids, these are the future, like we all said, and these are the ones that represent the North Thurston County every annual competition in Tacoma. So thank you guys, and give it up for my kiddos because they work really hard. And hopefully you guys love our performance and our presentation that we have for you guys to show unity instead of individually. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I also want to acknowledge that we have folks here from Swain Art Market, who are individuals that are putting up cool events around Thurston County. We also have Lacey Commission on Equity here, and some other representatives from organizations around. So I appreciate everyone who showed up today. So Chair, I will turn it back to you to read the proclamation. Like you heard, Lamoa is going to grace us with dance performances during the break, during the time of recess, and then we'll recess for however long you'd like, and then come back to your regular meeting.
Excuse me, would 20 minutes be
Perfect.
appropriate?
Perfect.
Okay, let's do the proclamation and then we'll do that short break.
This is a proclamation of Thurston County for Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Whereas Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is celebrated in the month of May to commemorate the arrival of the first known Japanese immigrant to the United States on May 7th, 1843, and to honor the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad on May 10th, 1869, that was built with the labor of Chinese immigrants. And whereas we acknowledge Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is marked by a deep-rooted history, including both proud and painful chapters and significant cultural and systemic barriers. And whereas Washington State and Thurston County has been home to generations of Asian Americans, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islanders who have made significant contributions to the community. And whereas this year's theme, Power in Unity, Strengthening Communities Together, emphasizes the importance of collective strength, storytelling, and building bridges between these communities. And whereas Asian Americans, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islanders have shared their traditions and rich culture while representing their communities through public service, art, science, and medicine and military services for the betterment of all citizens. And whereas we commit to the recognition and support of all Asian Americans, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islanders in Thurston County, Washington State, and the nation. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of County Commissioners of Thurston County hereby proclaim May 2026 as Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month in Thurston County, and encourages all residents to celebrate the accomplishments and sacrifices of the community adopted this 19th day of May 2026 by the Board of County Commissioners.
Okay, it's about 2:30. We will be in recess till 2:50 and pick back up with public comment on agenda items. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
Back on the record in our business meeting for Tuesday, May 19th. Next up is public comment related to agenda items. We will have a public comment period at the end for any item. If you're have a time constraint and must give comment here, you can take it, but let me go through the guidelines. The Board of County Commissioners welcomes comments from the public at all meetings. There are guidelines governing such comments to ensure they are appropriate and do not take advantage of the fact that most meetings are televised. Introduce yourself when called in the area of the county in which you reside. State the agenda, for this piece, state the agenda item you are speaking to. Address the board, not audience or staff. Please silence your cell phones. The board does not directly respond to public comment, but the county manager may follow up with specific items on an as-needed basis. Speakers will have 3 minutes to address the board, and speakers cannot donate their speaking time to other speakers. Please be respectful. The board reserves the right to restrict a person's opportunity to address the meeting for good cause. No comments that are lewd and offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. No outbursts of any kind. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business. No electioneering comments. Written materials may be provided to the county through the county clerk of the board, but will be considered public record, subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256. The last one, I know there's some folks here about battery storage. We have to preclude remarks about pending land use permits or quasi-judicial matters. The board is hearing an appeal tomorrow regarding an issue, an application regarding a battery energy storage system. I guess we can hear comment if it relates to the abstract principle of battery energy storage or county guidelines, but no comment may be made with respect to the specific project that will be heard by the board tomorrow, which is in the Grand Mound area. And I'll have to cut you off if I hear comment of that nature, because we're basically judges and you can't lobby judges before a case, in a court case, and that's the kind of situation that we find ourselves in tomorrow. So with all those advisements, first up is Rhonda Larson Kramer. On deck is Lee Ms. Kramer. I saw her and she might have left. And okay, then Ms. Reiner, Dave Toller. Okay, Mr. Pettit, you're up.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm John Pettit from the Rich Road area. You have 2 items on your agenda which I'm going to address. My first one is actually you've taken it off of the agenda, which is item number 7. CPED, I have found CPED has been making direct contact with hearings examiner, ex parte contact, which invalidates anything the hearings examiner has ever done, as far as I'm concerned. We have proof of it. As one of the people that are directly affected, and that means that the whole process of the hearings examiner is tainted by bad management in CPED, reaching out in order to get a verdict against somebody without a hearing process. All people involved in that should be fired. That's your job, to make sure they're fired. Number 2 issue, central services. The issue has to do with some engineering for Plum Street.
Is this
Now-
an agenda item, Mr. Pettit?
It is an agenda item.
Which one?
You might want to know about that. It's item number 6. And the obvious is that there's an intent of spending potentially $3.5 million on engineering and design services. And that money is not in the capital budget. It's not in the capital budget. Now, it's the same basic story as what you're going to be facing with an audit item from the state about even purchasing that facility. It's not in the budget. Now, I realize you may have been told stories about that. Well, that would fit under the Thurston County infrastructure upgrades. Well, I just wanted you to be aware it doesn't fit. There's a description that goes along with every project. The description for that project would be the building condition assessment by Ming analysis identified structural equipment and the systems that have exceeded their lifespan, the major repair replacement of these projects by HVAC systems, et cetera. And in order to know what the system would cover under this project, you need to read this Ming study. If you read the Ming study, it has identified 22 properties, of which 2 are parking lots, that are allowable uses for those bond money that you stole when you made a decision to purchase Plum Street, of which I've told you before, there's important liability issues for yourselves, perhaps removal from office. But you don't need to compound yourself by throwing more money that's not in the budget. Check it out, find out where that money's supposed to come from. Otherwise, that much more liability for you. Thank you.
Anyone else in the boardroom for an agenda item, public comment? Anyone? Okay, we need to go through. Is there anyone online who is here to give public comment on an agenda item? Come off mute if you are. Ms. Barrientos, you'll have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Heidi Barrientos. I'm a resident of Thurston County, and I'm here to speak on agenda item 3, the $52,067 CDBG contract with All Kids win.
Thank you.
I submitted a comprehensive policy letter to your offices yesterday detailing this item, and I'm here to place those explicit requests onto public record. While addressing weekend food insecurity for our youth is a vital mission, the structural execution of this contract contains 2 critical equity gaps that this board has the administrative authority and the moral obligation to correct before final approval. We must stop designing public programs using a one-size-fits-all model that leaves out our most vulnerable children behind. First, providing food that children cannot medically safely eat is not a public benefit. It's an administrative waste. When we send weekend food bags containing standard gluten or allergy-heavy items to children suffering from celiac disease or other severe food allergies, we force them to choose between intense hunger or severe illness. They are left staring at food that they cannot touch. This is a profound issue of health and financial equity. I pulled current retail data to look at the exact metrics. The standard box of Kraft macaroni and cheese is about $1.24, while gluten-free alternative is $2.88. Because the gluten-free box is smaller in ounces, families face a staggering 181% true markup per ounce just to secure the same amount of safe food. Low-income families cannot absorb a 181% financial penalty for a medical diagnosis. Because these are federal CDBG dollars, this program must comply with federal civil rights and accessibility standards. I ask that this contract explicitly require All Kids win to provide medically compliant allergen-friendly bags to the children who need them. Second, this funding must break down the arbitrary barriers excluding homeschooling families. Many families who homeschool qualify for nutritional assistance, yet they are systemically locked out of these food bags unless their children sit in a public school building for at least half time. Hunger does not check an attendance roster. These children reside in our county and they experience the same weekend food gaps. As detailed in my email, I ask that you condition the approval of this budget on 3 mandates: a medical accommodation clause to establish a clear intake and distribution process for allergy-friendly, medically necessary weekend food banks, a homeschool equity, my apologies. Lost my
I'll need you to kind of wrap up, and it sounds like you
Um,
submitted some stuff in writing.
yeah,
But go
a
ahead and
homeschool-
finish your thought.
equity access policy for direct bag pickup for homeschooling families and a mandatory district notification to registered homeschooling families about these accommodations. I also request that additional funds be allocated to the contract to accommodate the needs of these changes in the amount of at least $5,000. True equity means meeting children exactly where they are regardless of their medical diagnosis or their educational setting. Thank you.
Thank you. Other folks online with public comment on agenda items? Okay. Let's move to the next item, county manager update.
Thank you so much, Chair. Before I just give a few updates, and the first one is about a safer path to school, I wanted to pass over to Assistant County Manager Jennifer Walker.
Yes, thank you. So you'll notice that some of us are wearing orange. This is National Public Works Week, and so we are celebrating our essential personnel, professionals who maintain and manage the county's infrastructure. And it is also Emergency Medical Services Week as well, which is in observance of the EMTs, paramedics, and emergency personnel who provide life-saving care on the front lines, both two very, very important groups that contribute to a very, very productive and community that we all want to live in. So congratulations to them.
Yep, and thank you, Commissioners, for supporting them with your orange vests and your hard hats. We appreciate that. All right, we have some project updates. Want to give a special thanks to Public Works. They completed a Safer Path to School project at Pleasant Glade Elementary School. And so near Pleasant Glade Elementary School, they added new sidewalks, crosswalks, ADA ramp, a better bike path, a new stormwater pond to help the rainwater runoff. The project was 90% funded by state grants and is now 100% safer for everybody. We also improved pedestrian safety and access along Martin Way and Meridian Road Northeast, new ramps, sidewalks, and more room for pedestrians. These are just three of the many community-focused projects by Thurston County's Public Works Department, making streets and sidewalks safer for both drivers and pedestrians across the county. Next update, the county's Affordable Housing Program Assistant, Leah Tangeman, was honored as a South Sound Exceptional Woman by Seroptimus International of Olympia. I think she's here in the audience with us. Nominated by the Thurston Affordable Housing Advisory Board, Leah works on the front lines in our community, making housing more equitable and available. The award recognizes her for going above and beyond through leadership, compassion, and community impact to address the critical challenge facing our region, housing stability. We hear from our partners that Leah embodies these characteristics. I want to thank Leah for her hard work and dedication and her effort and congratulate her on her award. I actually received an email from someone saying, "Hey, did you know your staff won this awesome award?" And so we always just like to highlight the fact that Thurston County employees not only do good work here, but they're out in the community making a difference. The next announcement is about our wonderful Fleet Services department. Thurston County Fleet Services has been ranked in the top 100 best fleets for the 8th time. Our you can clap. Came in 60th out of thousands across North, Central, and South America in the National Associations of Fleet Administrators ranking of public and private fleets. Here are a few stats. In 2025, the county's fleet included more than 600 vehicles used in all areas of community work and service, including road operations, construction, law enforcement, and public health. Our fleet traveled, get this, 3.2 million miles, and fleet staff completed 3,200 repairs, including outfitting vehicles with updated equipment and putting 37 new vehicles on the road for our sheriff's office. That deserves a round of applause. hardworking mechanics, technician, support staff, and everyone on the fleet and central services team who makes the county's vehicles safe, efficient, and ready to roll over thousands of miles of county roads. I believe many of them are here. I think they actually closed the shop down. So would you mind standing so we can give you a special recognition? Could you come down and join me? We have the award for you at the end, get your photo with the team. Not to squish you, but why don't you all come forward?
Top 100, like nationally?
North, South, and Central Americas.
Hemispherically?
Hemispherically.
That's awesome.
Go Bruce.
Come in.
Definitely should give you guys a good raise, you know?
Take a knee.
Sam and Amy, you hold Bruce.
Am I blocking you?
Nope, you're good. We'll move a little bit left or right, whichever. Good thing that was part of it. There's another. Good thing that was part of it. Maybe the crowd should back up behind you.
Stand on a chair.
Oh, beard, slow down.
How long can they hold the
All right, good job, you guys, thanks.
Oh, challenge. And commissioners, as we're settling back in, my last item is overview of Thurston County Spirit Week. Thurston County's annual Spirit Week was held May 4th through the 8th. We had Sports Day, Twin Day, Band Shirt Days, Pacific Northwest Day, and Thurston County Colors Day. The short video highlights the spirit we saw throughout the week. Thank you to Brandy for putting the video together for all employees to participate, and we look forward to next year.
Y'all wore your shirt. Emily brought one so I could have one.
And I want my.
That's all for today.
That's good, all right, thank you. And yeah, thank you so much for bringing forward, like, when employees win awards and things, because we don't, historically, we have not heard about all that. So I really enjoy hearing the accomplishments of employees and when they get recognized, so thank you. I think we should definitely keep including that in our county manager updates. Okay, we have consent agenda. It's been modified, but we have items 1 through 7 with 6 having been removed.
I'm gonna Move another one. Move to approve the consent agenda with the addition of moving consent agenda item 3 to department items, just based on public comment.
I'll second that.
A motion and second. It's non-debatable motion, so I will call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Okay, let's go to item 7, Central Services, contract to award professional consulting services for Thurston Regional Justice Center and campus.
Good afternoon, Kim Burnett, Director of Central Services. I'm actually not going to do this presentation. I'm going to have Rick Thomas do it. He is retiring next week, and this will be his last presentation before the board. I want to thank him for his service and everything he has done for us in the last 10 years. We're going to miss him terribly. So with that, I will turn it over to Rick.
All right, Rick.
What are you
Well, first of all, thank you for making it hard for me to talk, Kim. Rick Thomas, the Capital Projects Planning Manager with Central Services. We're requesting approval to award a professional consulting on-call contract to KMB Architects to design the adaptive reuse and tenant improvement build-out of the downtown buildings located at Plum Street and Union Avenue campus in Olympia, and to authorize the Central Services Director to execute the contract not to exceed $3.5 million, including any amendments that do not exceed 10%. Central Services solicited requests for qualifications for architectural and engineering professional consulting services for planning, design, and construction administration. And on April 27, 2026, we received 3 responses to the RFQ that was advertised in the Nisqually Valley News, the Seattle Daily Journal of Commerce, and the posting on the Thurston County Contracting Opportunities website. An evaluation panel scored the responses based on company qualifications, key personnel, relevant experience, past performance, references, and sustainability. In addition, the top 2 firms were interviewed, and KMB, the top-ranked firm, was selected. The first task order will be issued from the contract will be the design to adaptively convert buildings 1 and 2 into a courthouse for district and superior courts operations. Future task orders may be issued to provide design services for the remainder of the downtown campus buildings as the county continues to consolidate its government services to this campus. Funding for the services performed under this on-call contract will come from the 2022 county bond and state funding. The project is in the 2025 to 2030 capital improvement plan and is in alignment with the county's strategic plan, Initiative 16, to provide safe, secure, accessible, and functional facilities to effectively house county services and the associated workforce. We'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions for you? Okay. Ready for motion?
I move to approve a professional consulting on-call services contract with KMB Architects, Inc. to design the adaptive reuse and tenant improvement build-out of the downtown buildings located on the Plum Street and Union Avenue campus in Olympia for an amount not to exceed $3,500,000, and authorize the Director of Central Services to execute the contract and any amendments that do not exceed 10%.
Second.
Motion's been made and second to approve a consulting on-call contract with KMB Architects. Discussion on this motion.
Not on the motion, but I just want to say thank you to Rick for all your years of service and guiding us through this.
You're here.
Well, I'll just say it's been a pleasure being able to serve. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Powell?
Oh, Rick, I think they have a question.
Sorry, Rick.
Sorry, Rick, you're not done yet.
I do have a question, but it may be a county manager question or a Rick question, I'm not sure, but we did hear public comments about the item today. This is often a point of confusion from multiple constituents. It's not just one person. So if anyone's able to speak to the legitimacy, I think I actually may have asked this question in a recent meeting as well about the CIP and whether or not this needs to be in the CIP. And I've received questions after that meeting from folks who aren't quite sure that the explanation fully answers the question, if that makes sense. So some folks are, that I've heard questions from have said that just because there's language about associated infrastructure, it doesn't mean that it should bypass the whole process of going through the planning commission. Is there someone who can maybe speak to that a little bit, just for clarification for the public that might be listening?
Sure. So for the public, we understand the input that's been received and the perspectives that have been relayed. We have run this through our prosecuting attorney's office. They've verified on multiple occasions that this is good to proceed. We have that documentation and verification, and it's been provided to the commissioners.
We can resend that so that if it's helpful, you can get that out to those that are reaching out to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, hearing no other discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, this item is removed, so we're gonna go to item 8, which is information technology renewal of Microsoft Enterprise Agreement.
Good afternoon, Sherry Ilg, IT Director. I am seeking authorization to renew our 3-year Microsoft Enterprise Agreement in the amount of $2,014,373.82 plus tax. Thurston County uses Microsoft software as the core support of county business. Current products include Word, Outlook, Excel, SharePoint, Visio, SQL Server, Microsoft Windows Server, and more. Microsoft requires each customer to sign an enterprise agreement for the rights to use the software. The current agreement ends on June 30th, 2026. Our new 3-year term will start July 1st, 2026, and run through June 30th, 2029. Thurston County purchases Microsoft products under the state negotiated enterprise agreement for several years. IT has received an updated quote and contract through the Washington State Master Contract Number AR2488, NASPO Cloud Solutions. This agreement allows us to license Microsoft products at government pricing. The current annual cost is $674,457.94 plus tax per year, and this amount is collected as part of our annual IT rates.
Questions for Sherry on item 8, Commissioner Claus?
Will you please tell Microsoft to make it easier to search Outlook for various emails?
Yes. It's public comment right there.
Yes.
Anybody else? Is there a motion?
I move to, wrong. No, right page. Yeah. I move to approve the 3-year Microsoft Enterprise Agreement for $2,014,373.82 plus tax, and authorize the Director of Information Technology to execute the agreement and any amendments that do not exceed 10% per year for each year.
Motion and second to approve the 3-year Microsoft Enterprise Agreement. Discussion on the motion. Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next up is a Sheriff's Office item, interim contract with the City of Tenino for law enforcement services.
Thank you so much, Chair. We have invited our sheriff, who acknowledged he was going to try to make it. So maybe we'll just give him, okay, a couple minutes. Is there another item that we could go to?
Item 3, all kids win.
That was moved to department items?
I did that in the consent calendar motion.
You already moved item 6.
I did it when I made that motion.
Yeah, the Chair, item number 3 on the consent was part of the motion that Commissioner Fournier made.
Oh, I missed that.
It's okay. There was a lot going on with the celebration and everything else. So, Dr. Freiheit was ready.
All right, well, let's go to then that item.
Great, thank you, Dr. Jen Freiheit, the Director of Public Health and Social Services. And this is a request for the board to move to approve a contract with All Kids Win for a total of $52,067.25 to provide support for the weekend food bags program. Thurston County receives an annual entitlement of Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, program funding, and this is through the Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, to provide a variety of activities that serve low-income households and individuals. This funding rotates between the City of Tumwater and the South County jurisdictions of Thurston County, which include the City of Yelm, City of Tenino, City of Rainier, and the Town of Bucota. The program year 2025 was a South County year, so funding decisions were made by a committee of the South County jurisdiction's mayors and a Thurston County commissioner. The Board of County Commissioners approved the recommended funding awards at their June 17, 2025 meeting, and the Office of Housing and Homeless Prevention received approval for their 2025 annual action plan, which includes the funding awards by HUD in September of 2025. A grant agreement for the CDBG funding was fully executed by Thurston County and HUD in December of 2025, and our office is now working with the subrecipient of the year 2025 funding to get their awards under contract. And so they are required to follow all the federal rules that are in that contract. And this is to support approximately 200 K-12 students attending schools in South Thurston County. I'm happy to answer any questions for you.
Commissioner Fournier.
So we had public comment. We received an email from constituent Ms. Heidi Barrientos, this online. And I thought she kind of made a compelling argument to just dig a little deeper. And I wanted to ask if there's any opportunity or need to ensure that, some of those special needs are met through some of these programs, or if in fact they already are.
We can certainly look into that. We do ensure that they follow all the rules of the contract, of the federal rules. And we also don't necessarily get in the practice of helping or telling community agencies how to run their programs once they've been approved. But I can certainly look to, Tom, if you have anything else to add to that.
Yeah, Tom Webster. We haven't had a chance to reach out to All Kids Win to get into details of how they implement their program, so I can't answer the specific questions. We're certainly willing and happy to kind of have conversations with them to see what's possible in terms of making sure kids get kind of appropriate food and address any health and safety issues that they do have. But I can't speak right now. I don't have knowledge of All Kids Win specific programs in terms of how they serve kids with allergies or other kind of special needs.
Are you comfortable moving this forward and having that conversation, or do you think that we should have the conversation before we move it forward?
Certainly comfortable moving forward with this. If you wanted us to make sure we put something in the contract, that would be helpful to have that conversation or get that direction from you. But I think this may be something we can have conversations with them that, depending on your guidance, whether we include it as a contract requirement or not.
Yeah, Commissioner Fournier, what I would recommend is that Tom connect with the group first. As he mentioned, he hasn't talked to them about what their program entails, and they may already have ways in which they take into consideration food allergies. So my suggestion would be that we bring back at a board work session just an update on how that conversation goes. I think the program is a sound program and getting the dollars to the group, because there's always a lengthy process. We got to get that CDBG funding spent, and we don't necessarily want to hold that up. And then it allows the county to make the service provider aware of the community comments. And I'm sure that, as Dr. Freiheit said, it would be good to hear from them as the program operators how they plan to respond.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move to approve a contract with All Kids Win for the total amount of $52,067.25 to provide support for the Weekend Food Bags Program, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to execute the contract, and any amendments that do not exceed 10%, with the understanding that we'll get some follow-up conversations regarding those special needs requests.
Second.
Motion and second to approve this contract with All Kids Win. Any discussion? Commissioner Mejia?
Thank you, Commissioner Fournier, for bringing this forward, and that was kind of my thought process of did it need to be in the motion, so I appreciate you adding that language onto the motion. And I look forward to kind of that update and seeing, I think there were 3 different points the constituent made in terms of that contract and seeing, is there, getting information on those 3 points, that would be very helpful.
Okay, no further discussion. I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I don't see the sheriff. Do we go forward without?
Yeah, I can give a brief update, and if he joins, then I can definitely.
We're all pretty aware.
Yeah, we've
of this
discussed it
item,
at length.
so I don't
Yeah.
Sounds
know
good.
if we need to wait for the sheriff on this.
Sounds good.
Is that him up there?
Yes, it is.
Okay, very good. Sheriff Sanders, you're up, right on time. This is the item 9, interim contract with City of Tenino for law enforcement services. Can you give us kind of an overview?
Just 1 second here, I'm fixing my audio.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, good evening. This is a contract with Tenino as a short-term solution for the next 6 to 9 months for police services.
Short-term solution to the Tenino dissolving its police department, right? Yep, just for context for folks who haven't been tracking this like we have.
Move to approve the interim contract with the City of Tenino for law enforcement services from April 6, 2026 through September 30th, 2026 for a total of $112,365 with the option of a 3-month extension to December 31st, 2026 for an additional $56,182.50 for a total contract amount of $168,547.50.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the interim contract with City of Tenino. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, thank you, Sheriff. Now we're up to public comment related to general matters. I have Casey Taylor signed up.
Hi there. Do I say my name?
Yep, say your name and kind of where you reside in the county, and then you got 3 minutes to go.
All right, Casey Taylor, and I live in Grand Mound, Washington.
Perfect.
I know you said to keep this separate from the other thing, and that is my intention.
Okay,
So I
thank
just
you.
wanted to make sure, would I get permission to read what the moratorium is? It does not mention the other hearing. It's just what we're requesting in Thurston County.
Go for it.
Okay, so, we formally request that Thurston County Commissioners enact an immediate moratorium on the permitting, siting, and development of battery energy storage systems in unincorporated and rural residential areas of South Thurston County. Reasons for the moratorium. A moratorium is necessary to ensure that proper regulations and safeguards are established before permitting battery energy storage systems in Thurston County. The following actions must be taken: development of clear safety standards and siting criteria to address the risks associated with best technology, establishment of minimum 1,000-foot setbacks from residences, businesses, schools, daycares, bus barns, and any locations where children congregate to protect the health and safety of the community. Creation of robust environmental impact assessment frameworks that evaluate potential harm to soil, air, groundwater, and local ecosystems. Detailed emergency response and fire suppression planning to ensure preparedness in case of incidences such as fires or hazardous material releases. Commitment to public engagement and transparency, including holding in-person hearings and providing adequate notice to the community about proposed facilities. Aligning of zoning and land use policies to maintain the integrity of rural, residential, and agricultural areas and prevent inappropriate industrial development. And requirement for plume modeling study before issuing land use permits to ensure safe siting and adequate setbacks. This is not opposition to clean energy. It is a demand for responsible planning, public safety, environmental protection, and community respect. Until comprehensive regulations and protections are in place, no BEST facility should be approved in rural residential communities. We ask our elected officials to stand with the citizens they serve, protect our lives, protect our land, and preserve the future of South Thurston County. Respectfully submitted by the citizens of Thurston County. And I already sent this in with also approximately 1,800 petition signatures requesting that you guys consider this and hope that maybe you can put it on the next agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other folks in the boardroom? I see a hand online, so I will, Mr. Pettit, go ahead. I like to do boardroom first. Then we'll get to the hand that's up online.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. John Pettit. Today on my way here, I received a phone call from a person who is a wetland specialist. And once again, the CPAD planning department over here is way outside the boundaries. They're choosing not to follow code. And there's a couple reasons why. Number one, in dealing with the aspect of the environment, critical area ordinance requires a site visit for a person to actually see what's going on the project envelope. That doesn't happen. The county doesn't even care, but they can dictate what you're going to have to do from it. Now, what they do currently, I've invited you to go with me for a walk-in tour, but now we stopped having planners available even to talk to people. But the problem is this. Geodata creates a mapping system. The mapping system has a disclaimer. Under no circumstances are you to use that for any type of information or purpose, and the county will not be liable for such. CPAD, the planners, use it as their basis for making decisions of which the citizens have to abide by, or they don't get to have their permitting process. They don't get to have a site visit, and you apply something that is absolutely against county policy as making decisions for people. CPAD is completely out of control, and they're not following code. They're damaging people. You know, I have a number of experts I work with, whether it be in septic systems, building systems, land development, and they all have one thing in common. Thurston County, we should have a photograph and note, Thurston County is the worst place to try to do business when it comes to any type of developing or building projects. They don't follow the code, and they enforce things that shouldn't exist. If you want to get to really know more about it, call me up, sit down, meet with, have a special town hall meeting and ask all of the people that are involved in the industry, how bad is it? It's the worst, and it's known. It is known. You only have to make a call or two, and you'll find out. It's only gotten worse, and which kind of compounds with the idea it's almost a case of becoming a racketeering outfit. And one last issue. CPAD has made lots of policies. None of them are actually valid until such time they're approved by the Board of County Commissioners, and they are not approved by the county commissioners. All these additional policies, charging people money. You need to fix it. It's your fault.
I know we have public hearings set for 3:30. I'd like to complete public comment, so I'm going to go to folks online. Can someone help me with the name?
Bonnie Helms has her hand up.
Ms. Helms, you have 3 minutes. Another reminder, you may not comment on the specific project that's before the board tomorrow.
Got it. Yeah, thank you. This is Bonnie Helms. I am a party of record to the appeal, but I understand the board is acting in a quasi-judicial role regarding pending appeals. I'm not commenting on the merits of any specific project, but I am also asking the county as a matter of general policy to consider a temporary moratorium and definitely a pause on the utility scale battery energy storage siting until we can get comprehensive countywide standards that are developed for fire response, environmental review, plume modeling, setbacks, emergency planning, and long-term remediation liability. We desperately need a pause to ensure that the counties are making informed, consistent, and legally defensible decisions before we move projects forward. Right now, I think there are two already. So it'd be good to place a pause just to make sure that, we can focus appropriately on what we're supposed to. Thurston County, you guys have a real opportunity to lead instead of reacting later like other counties who have conflicts or failures or regulatory gaps. And it becomes a lot harder to fix after the fact. So we shouldn't be building policy at the speed of industry pressure. Communities have to come first, along with our first responders and our local governments. And a temporary pause isn't anti-energy, it's pro-accountability. So it's really responsible of you guys to do this. And if I might make a quick comment on removing the board from the appeal process, I don't really agree with that because it does move the decisions to already overly burdened courts. It makes it more difficult for the community also due to costs and experts that we can obtain. We try to find attorneys and we have a lot of difficulty obtaining legal counsel. So you guys are kind of here for us. We aren't made of endless money, especially in this economy right now. I would be very careful about relinquishing any of the board's role in the appeal process. So please do what's right and enact that moratorium as soon as possible. Thank you, board.
Thank you. Anyone else online to give public comment? Okay, I think we've covered that. So we are going to recess now and take up the public hearings that are set. It is 3:37, and we're going to start in the order on the agenda, which first up is Lake Lawrence resolution for the 2027 Lake Management District Assessment Rolls. And let me get my script for that one. So the purpose of this public hearing is to consider and accept public testimony on the proposed resolution for the 2027 Lake Management District Assessment Rolls for Lake Lawrence LMD number 26. This is a hybrid public hearing. Those wishing to testify have joined by Zoom, emailed in comment, or mailed in comment. If you wish to testify, please visit the Thurston County homepage online and select BOCC meetings, hearings, and work session agendas. The information to join this public hearing remotely is posted there. If you are not providing testimony but would like to follow along, please visit the Thurston County YouTube channel. Dr. Jen Freiheit, the Director of Public Health and Social Services, will provide information on this topic. Assuming those on Zoom wish to testify, your name will be read aloud. You do not need to sign up in any particular fashion. You'll have 3 minutes to testify. Time may not be given to another person. When you are called on, please state your name and address or area of the county in which you reside for the record. Public hearing is now open. Dr. Freiheit will present background information, summarize any written comments submitted, and provide any additional information requested by the board.
Yes, thank you. Jen Freiheit, Director of Public Health and Social Services. For a bit of the history, on November 4th, the Board of County Commissioners approved the resolution of intent to form Lake Lawrence Lake Management District number 26 and scheduled a public hearing to determine public interest and financial feasibility pursuant to RCW 36.62.040 and 36.62.050. On January 20th, the board closed the public hearing and directed staff to prepare the resolution of findings and determinations. Resolution number 16604 was subsequently adopted on February 3rd, authorizing the matter to proceed to a vote of the property owners within the proposed district for the establishment of Lake Lawrence LMD number 26. Ballots were mailed to all affected property owners on February 17th with a return deadline of March 11th at 5 p.m. Ballots were then counted March 12th at 10:30 a.m. in this room. Following the official count, 90% of the weighted votes cast supported the formation of the Lake Lawrence Lake Management District number 26. Pursuant to RCW 36.61, ordinance number 16621 was adopted to formally create Lake Management District number 26. In accordance with the resolutions establishing the Lake Management Districts, annual assessment increases may be considered to address inflationary impacts and ongoing lake management initiatives. Lake Lawrence LMD number 26 is seeking a rate increase of 10% for upland and public properties and 130% for lakefront and canal front properties. These updated assessments would take effect beginning with the 2027 property tax bills. The action before the board today is the closure of the public hearing and consideration of the resolution approving and adopting the amended roll of assessments for Thurston County Lake Management District number 26 with or without amendment based on the public comment or adjustments at the discretion of the Board of County Commissioners. And approval of this resolution represents the final step in the creation and implementation of this new district. Thank you.
Chair, I might add, just appreciation to the clerk of the board, the Department of Public Health and Social Services, seasoned steward, both in environmental health, and to Barry Halverson and the folks out at Lake Lawrence. We appreciate the partnership in moving this process forward. They are a little bit long and a little bit cumbersome, but we appreciate all the good coordination and communication.
Great, thank you.
Questions for Dr. Fryheim? Okay, we'll go to public testimony. Mr. Halverson, I'm guessing you're up.
Chair, if you don't mind, if there's anybody online, I'd like to be the last one to testify, so I might entertain any objections anybody might have.
Does anyone online here testify on Lake Lawrence? See no hands. I think it's just you, Barry. Come on up.
Chair, Commissioners, I am Barry Halverson, co-chair of the Lake Lawrence Lake Management District. I stand before you today to celebrate a historic milestone, the 40th anniversary of Lake Lawrence Lake Management District, the oldest and longest-running district of its kind in Washington State. With the recent vote to renew the LMD for another 35 years, our community has committed to protecting this resource through 2061. This 75-year legacy is a testament to the dedication of our citizens and our partners at the county and state levels. We owe a debt of gratitude to the visionaries who started this journey in 1984. Commissioner Karen Frazier recognized the need for lake management and championed the cause through her time as county commissioner and state senator. We also honor the original steering committee leaders like Tom Fisher, Skip Meredith, Dave Olson, and John Gray, whose hard work formed the backbone of the district in 1986. The LMD has evolved significantly over the last 4 decades. 2 years ago, Commissioner Mejia and former Commissioner Gary Edwards orchestrated our move to environmental health. This has proven to be a transformational shift. By empowering residents to take greater ownership of decisions, we have moved toward a model of self-reliance. This relieves county staff of administrative burdens while ensuring that those with the greatest stake in the lake's health, the people who live on its shores, are the ones guiding its future. The support from the commissioners and the Environmental Health Department has created true partnership. I also want to thank our steering committee and our boots-on-the-ground volunteers, including the 10 dedicated individuals who maintain our county park weekly. This public hearing closes a lengthy process to renew the LMD and starts a 35-year process to sustain our current level of invasive and noxious weed maintenance and education, and to our mission to clean up our lake from repeated harmful algal blooms and increasing HABs, which we are now in a warning status at 45.9 UGL, which is 6 times the state guideline. To truly mitigate HABs will require the efforts of all our partners. Our cyanobacteria management plan, our CMP, is now complete, and we are putting together a plan for what comes next. We can choose the easy and least expensive way with chemicals, like all other lakes have done, or a more difficult and most expensive course of action, which would lead to no chemicals. Our course will be determined by how much support we get from you and the state. There's more to follow shortly. We want to thank you for your continued support in keeping Thurston County lakes clean, safe, and healthy for generations to come. Thank you all.
Barry, what did you, when you were saying 6 times the guidelines on what? On what
6
parameter?
times the state guidelines for harmful algal blooms, which is 8 UGL. We're right now at 45.9. We're 6 weeks earlier than last year for starting our toxic algae blooms on our lake, which does not bode well for the future of this summer.
Thank you.
That's why we want to get into this program starting January of 2027, as soon as we can do it.
All righty.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Barry.
Any other public? Okay, will you? Nope, not a problem.
We gotta close this hearing. Hold on, we gotta
This
close
is
this
not,
hearing.
oh, regarding the public hearing.
I want to start with
Mr.
this
Kim?
problem. From,
Is this about the Lake Lawrence Management District? No.
so it's a general problem? So-
Okay, I need to, we'll call you later, at a later point.
Okay.
We're in the middle of a public hearing about Lake Lawrence. We're gonna get back to the regular board meeting.
Not this time soon? No?
Not for a few
Not
minutes. We have
now?
another public hearing to do, and then we'll be back to our board meeting, and we can discuss the issue of reopening public comment.
Okay, you do not hear. You do not want to hear.
Not right now, because we're hearing about another issue. So is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion on that? Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Public
Move to
hearing's
approve the 2027 Lake Management District Assessment Rolls for Lake Lawrence Lake Management District Number 26.
Second.
motion to approve the assessment rolls. Any discussion on that motion? Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Job, Susan.
Thank
Okay.
you, Barry.
We're going to move to the next public hearing, which is the purpose of this public hearing is to consider and accept public testimony on the proposed ordinance amending Thurston County Code Chapter 2.02.025, special meetings, to update the location of special meeting notices to the Thurston County atrium. This is a hybrid public hearing. Those wishing to testify have joined by Zoom, emailed in comment, or mailed in comment. If you wish to testify, please visit the Thurston County homepage online, select BOCC meetings, hearings, and work session agendas. The information to join this public hearing remotely is posted there. If you are not providing testimony but would like to follow along, please visit the Thurston County YouTube channel. Amy Davis, Clerk of the Board, will provide background information on the topic. Assuming anyone on Zoom wishes to testify, your name will be read aloud. You'll have 3 minutes to testify. You may not give any of that time to another person. When you are called on, please state your name and address for the record. This public hearing is open. Amy will present background information, summarize any written comments submitted, and provide any additional information requested by the board.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. For consideration today is a proposed ordinance updating Thurston County Code, Section 2.02.025 for special meetings. Upon the county's move to the atrium in 2022, Ordinance 16199 was passed and updated the board's official meeting room. There was an oversight at that time, and the location for special meeting notices was not included to also reflect the move to the atrium. Therefore, per current county code, special meeting notices continue to be posted at Building 1 of the courthouse campus. And Building 1 is now being used for court services, so this update is timely. Per RCW 3632.090, the board is authorized to hold special meetings so long as noticed in accordance with RCW 4230.080, which states special meeting notices shall be 1, provided to local newspapers and media that have requested to receive such notices, 2, posted on our website, 3, prominently displayed at the entrance of the agency's principal location, and 4, posted at the meeting site if not located at the agency's principal location. So this proposed ordinance before you updates county code to reflect these notice requirements and update our principal location to the atrium. We've received no public comment to date, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Move to close the public hearing. Oh, wait, we're not there yet.
Is there anyone here to give public comment on the special meetings ordinance change? Online? Okay, then we can go ahead and contemplate closing the hearing.
I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion second, close public hearing. I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hearing is closed. Motion?
I move to approve an ordinance amending the Thurston County Code, Chapter 2.02025, special meetings to update the location of special meeting notices to the Thurston County atrium.
Second.
Motion and second to amend the ordinance to update the location. Discussion on the motion. Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. So it's 3:50. We're going to go back into our board meeting. We were just at the tail end of public comment. Sir, you're the last person, I think, to give public comment. You have 3 minutes.
2 minutes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I tried to solve my problem. Several times I visited the sheriff's officer and the jail, and they on and again blocked me. And here, it's so simple one. On March 31st, I want to solve this problem. On March 31st, 2025, when I was released from jail, I asked to know the name of the jail officer who drew my bundles of clothes and me. He admitted that the amount of cash missing from my wallet had been transferred onto a debit card because I cannot understand how this incident could have happened. I repeatedly sent an email to TCSO records in order to learn the name of the jail officer, and I personally went to the sheriff's headquarters twice. I also went to the jail desk 3 times. They shouted at me and forced me to leave. I have the right to know. That officer and I are directly connected by this incident. I have the right to know his name. Under RCW 42.56, the Washington Public Records Act, citizens have the right to request government records and information regarding public officials. I must know the following. 1, the name of the sheriff deputy involved in the case. 2, the deputy's badge number. 3, the records related to the incident. However, the sheriff's office continued to refuse my request. I also spoke with Angela Frey. However, Angela gave strange responses on and again, even though my request was simple. She claimed it was complicated. My request is very simple. I want his name and the badge number. How many days does it take to find out the sheriff's deputy's name and badge number? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can hand that forward. Appreciate it. Okay, that wraps up public comment. We're gonna get to Commissioner community reports. Commissioner Klaus.
Thank you, Chair. I just have a couple. Let me pull them up real quick. Okay. So, I don't have very many this week. I'm kind of combining them with my committee reports, since I didn't have a whole lot going on, but we did have a Board of Health meeting, where we highlighted mental health, May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month. We heard presentations highlighting the importance of early intervention, youth mental health, and crisis response services. And we also received updates from Olympic Health and Recovery Services, how they have become the local 988 crisis hub beginning July 1st of this year, which will allow Thurston County residents to connect with local support staff. This is a huge win, so thank you to Commissioner Mejia and Commissioner Grant who serve on the BHASO. This was an issue that they were discussing when I served on BHASO, and it's just so much better to have it localized versus having 988 crisis calls going to some sort of call center with people who aren't necessarily located in the community. So now we'll have people responding to those or answering those calls who have a better understanding of what's happening on the ground locally and how to connect people in crisis to services that exist here in our community. So that's a big win. We also had an ORCA meeting. I'm still working on getting a meeting together with staff. I was unable to attend the ORCA meeting due to the budget presentation that we had with the board, which had to take priority that day. So I will say though that the Finance Committee meeting for ORCA, I was able to chair that. It was earlier in the day, so I was able to do that. And public comment period for the budget started on May 8th. And I believe it's now closed. Yeah, it should be closed, if not soon. So let's see. The board reviewed the fiscal year 2027 budget, and we discussed financial planning and budget priorities moving forward. So the Finance Committee did a good job of reviewing the ORCA budget, and then it was presented to the full ORCA board. So I don't think I missed much that I didn't already know based on being on the Finance Committee, which was good. But the budget process was pretty smooth, and I'm really proud of ORCA staff for being such a forward-thinking team and helping us so we don't have to deal with a big crisis down the road. Let's see. We also discussed ongoing agency initiatives and operational updates related to ORCA's efforts to support regional air quality programs and services. The Regional Housing Council held a special meeting where we dug a bit deeper into the funding decisions for this year, and we heard a really good briefing from our Office of Housing and Homeless Prevention this morning on that, so I don't have more to update outside of what was shared with us by staff this morning, and they did a great job. the last one is Community Built for Zero meeting where we reviewed March homelessness data, which showed increases across single adult, chronic and veteran homeless populations. And then I also, this isn't on my list, but I wanted to share that we had a Thurston Climate Mitigation Collaborative meeting this week. I was elected to be the chair of the collaborative, which I'm very excited about. And we heard an excellent presentation from Commissioner Menzer on forest lands and the most recent updates going on with DNR and BNR. And he gave us a really good snapshot of what's happened up to this point. And it was perfectly fine-tuned for an audience that doesn't have all the context, but I could tell that he was very excited. And so that was really fun to watch you in your element, Commissioner Menzer. We also had an update at TCMC about the home energy score ordinance and the Energize Thurston campaign. So those were really good updates. I'm looking forward to seeing what the team comes up with in terms of implementation for the home energy score ordinance. As I had hoped and thought, there are local assessors who are getting certified to do the home energy score assessments, and that seems to be going really smoothly. We have a handful of certified home energy score assessors already, so that's great because we don't implement this until next year. So I have no doubts that the county and our regional partners will work really well together to make that a success. And that's all I've got.
Commissioner Grant.
Yeah, so I attended the Thurston County Fair Board meeting. Things are going well for the fair. Lots of things underway. You know, they're getting new vendors and setting all the entertainment, and there's I don't know if you guys know the little mascot is an eagle, and it's gonna be really fun. So that was a great meeting. Went to the TCS, so Thurston County Sheriff's Office Award Ceremony. One of the things I want to say about that was that it was really incredible. We had a member of the Sheriff's Office get an award for from nationally, you know, for his support of Army Reserves, folks who are in the Army Reserves and actually still a sheriff. And so, you know, it was really neat to be able to attend and see all of the different kinds of awards that are going on. And then to celebrate the number of years of service people were getting awards for, so it was cool. Had a Pack Mountain board meeting, budget board meeting, so lots of things going on around Pack Mountain's budget. We had a Purple Ribbon Commission, so there's a behavioral health coalition that's been going on. A bunch of behavioral health providers. We had a presentation by our crisis, the new crisis team and the crisis manager. That was really great. Attended the Washington County Insurance Fund Summit in Leavenworth, Go Insurance. You know, happy to take that over for Commissioner Menzer, and was able to be in community with folks there. Learned, you know, quite a bit about health and self-help, and so there was some really incredible. We had a great time, so it was good. Transportation Policy Board meeting that happened. We had a study meeting. I was able to attend the Tenino Food Bank grand opening, which was super cool. I got shoved a mic and asked to speak and had no idea. And I was like, I had no idea what to say. But this is a really incredible new community center. They put an addition on there. And Tenino and the staff and Judy and the folks that are doing the work out in Tenino should be recognized. As far as I'm concerned. Jody, sorry, that Jody should be recognized, and, you know, if we could put her on like some sort of list. I mean, she is like a volunteer beyond volunteers, so that was really cool. And then had a lot of calls from constituents this week. And then Habitat for Humanity Women's Build happened this weekend. We broke ground at Mill Crossing in Yelm. Really exciting. There's going to be 20 new units in Yelm, 4 cottages and 16 new houses that are, you know, duplexes. It was really cool. They stood the first wall. It was a great event. And then we had a jail task force meeting to talk about an RFP that we're getting out for the jail task force. And that's my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Fortier.
Attended the NACO Ag and Rural Affairs Committee, where we got a very long presentation on the U.S. Farm Bill. Yeah, and then attended the State Auditor's Office entrance conference for Thurston County for our upcoming audit. Those are really the most noteworthy ones in addition to all the regular internal meetings.
Commissioner Mejia.
Thank you. It's been a busy couple weeks. Attended a webinar on pathways to safer crossings by Go Rail, and this is connected to one of the grants. And attended Washington Thriving Town Hall put on by the state. Attended the One America Immigrant Rights Update. We had an ecosystem coordination board meeting down in Skokomish, so that one was really insightful. Talked about kind of what's going on in terms of ferries and different legislative updates. Then attended the National Association of Counties Policy Insider, Understanding the Federal Landscape for Counties, and Farm Bill came up in that one as well. The Affordable Housing Advisory group had their community advisory team meeting, and so attended that, and after attended the Boston Elementary School Safety Night, and a huge thank you to Environmental Health, to Stream Team, Public Health, and Emergency Services for being there and showing the kids a great time, and they got to learn, you know, a little bit about Thurston County. Attended the Habitat for Humanity Women's Build, and I was in the Tomwater location finishing that up, so it's been great just to see how far it's come along. Attended the Heat Forum with Commissioner Menser, and then we had our Board of Health meeting. I've had a couple of sessions on the Public Health Leadership Academy, which is very exciting, and I'm excited to go to DC with them in June and kind of finalize that.
Fourth trip?
Went to beautiful city of Walla Walla for the Washington Association of Counties Board of Directors meeting, as well as the Legislative Steering Committee. And so Legislative Steering Committee, a little bit different this year, but we were able to finalize our legislative agenda for next year. And so I'll give a little bit more of an insight on that tomorrow. But it was a really great discussion on kind of what we're going to prioritize for the next 2 years. Attended the League of Women Voters annual spring luncheon with Commissioner Menser, as well as the Historic Olympia celebrates 250. And so they had a little celebration celebrating America's 250th birthday. And then at night had the honor of going to the Tenino Splash Bash. Attended a Nuestro Caucus meeting, and then the SAO Entrance Conference. That is all, Chair.
Last bash, forgot that one. Well, I was not at the last meeting. I was at a conference, and I don't date these, so this is really 2 meetings worth. I apologize, but I don't have any way to separate them. A lot of stuff. Attended the Yelm Arbor Day festivities in Yelm, where Mayor DePinto and Mayor Ryder spoke. Had a meeting with Department of Ecology relating to Summit Lake constituents and the lake levels and new leadership taking over Summit Lake management, and I wanted to meet those new folks at Ecology. The DEI Summit was a 2-day event. I want to thank Dr. Kenny Yarbrough, our new DEI Senior Program Manager, did a great job as a co-moderator. I got a chance to give a land acknowledgement and a county report that seemed well received, so that was a good event. Went to a Thurston County Housing Authority open house at Sterling Pines, where they opened 24 units in Tumwater of new housing. Attended the LD22 Town Hall downtown with all 3 of our LD22 state legislators. The Heat Risk Forum downtown, Representative Parsley was there, Commissioner Mejia was there, Dr. Gordon Wheat presented. A lot of information that we heard at the Board of Health. A Dispute Resolution Center Peacemaker event. My quarterly Winter Recreation Advisory Committee meeting where I represent Washington State Association of Counties related to snow parks.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, Tumwater Chamber had a participation from World Cup, homes and how local businesses can get involved and all the toolkits that are available to them. Homes First Awards ceremony. The presentation Commissioner Klaus referenced about the climate legacy forest and the climate mitigation collaborative, the League of Women Voters luncheon with Commissioner Mejia, volunteered at the Lacey Fun Fair in the City of Lacey booth. That was pretty fun on Saturday. Tenino Splash Bash was great. Got to see Commissioner Edwards and a whole bunch of other community leaders. Tumwater Education Foundation had their first gala on Friday night. That was a small but nice event at the airport, at the Air Museum. I attended yesterday the South Sound Food Systems Network meeting at Grub. I had met with that group a couple of times when I first got elected, and I was just curious what they were going to, what they were still up to, because they were specifically having a presentation from the Southwest Olympia Neighborhood Association, did a food survey. So I wanted to hear the results of that presented by the leader of the SWONA Neighborhood Association, which is in my district. So that was a great meeting. I'm gonna try to plug them in with some things going on in public health. Attended a meeting regarding juvenile capacity in the juvenile system. The state is outlining plans and criteria for how they intend to meet the capacity crisis for juvenile justice. That was hosted right here in our boardroom. I got a tour of the Olympia Food Pantry with the food bank downtown, which I'd never actually been inside there. And the whole staff turned out on one of their off days to show me around, so that was pretty cool. I went to a ribbon cutting for Westwater Kitchen and Apartments. That's a chamber event. That's the old Red Lion Hotel that's now been turned into apartments and a restaurant.
That restaurant looks nice.
It looks pretty nice. I did a little walking tour through it. I had a lot meeting. I attended Innovative Justice meeting. I went to the Western Interstate Regional NACO Conference. I attended the Elected Officials Social. I attended the Three Cities meeting. I attended the Alliance for Healthy South Sound Council meeting. I had a Finance Committee meeting. I gave a presentation at Take Your Kid to Work Day. I had an SBCC all-day meeting. I attended, of course, the procession of the species. State auditor's office, I've had 3 separate meetings related to the 2 different overlapping state audits that we're dealing with.
6 months. You're going back like 6 months now, Ty.
And I got a building tour of the new sheriff's office building. That was all in the last 4 weeks, so I've been busy.
Wow.
That's the end. We're adjourned.
That's right.
No, Commissioner Klaus, you got something?
I was just gonna say, I'm prepared to beat everyone in the rodeo this week, so come prepared.
When is that?
It's this Thursday.
It's this Thursday,
I
the
can't
crisis
do it.
thing, I know.
I'm speaking at the
I know
South
you're
Sound
scared,
Military
but I would-
Community
Oh, yeah,
Partnership,
and
then
I'm
going to
thinking
Deferred
about
and
going,
Deflection.
well, I was gonna stop on the way through.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
gonna do the thing in the morning anyway.
all right, I'll be the both too.
I'm done.
Yeah, all right, we're done.
We're done.
Good night.